Welcome, Virgo, to your love reading for October 1st to the 7th, 2018. So let's see what's going on with you. All right. Virgo, love. October 1st to the 7th, 2018. So neutral between both persons come towards you. First month's advice. Okay. Virgo in love. Okay. So, mutual energy between both. So both of you might feel that you have to be a bit serious or more discerning when it comes to how you communicate with your love interest or partner. Now, some of you could be dealing with an air sign, so Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, but I feel here that there's a test to see, you make a decision to see how someone else responds to you through not communicating as much. So there could be intense communication between you two, so the emotions might be a bit intense. All right, so it means that you might keep things kind of like where you have to allow the other person to read your heart, try to figure out if you are emotionally into them or not, because you don't want to give up too much, because of maybe you have in the past before. And some of you may feel like if you do, that partner or person that you're into, they might assume that you're together, or assume that there are things going on more than what actually is. So you might have to kind of use the energy of kind of detaching and having fun with others, and then seeing how things might go. All right, now the person that you're dealing with, all right, so that's interesting that they could be overwhelmed by that energy. So if they're dealing with somebody else, or they're into somebody else, and you let them know about it, okay, could be juggling you in some way, they might feel like your response or the way that you might be acting is all too much for them, so they kind of back down. And sometimes this is you coming towards them to let them know, and somebody else coming towards them as well, and they feel a bit claustrophobic or a bit stuck because something was addressed. All right, so I feel like either they have a lot of different things that they're doing energetically, and some of them they might not come towards you right now, but this is the energy of you letting them go through what they have to go through. If there were questions or things that you may have asked, you're trying to pierce the situation, allow that to happen. They might kind of cower away a bit, but maybe that's needed in order for them to come out on top with you in some way. All right, so I feel like they may be a bit down and stressed a little bit. Now, your response is feeling a bit alone. That's why I mentioned that the energy seems like you are kind of taking yourself more seriously from the things that you want and expect from your love interest or partner. So try not to have, you always can have expectations, but don't put them so high where someone can't reach them even if they jump 1,000 miles. So try to be patient with that particular person that you're dealing with, and others of you, if you feel like you need to step away from somebody, and some of them might need space because they're doing a whole lot. Again, it just depends on what situation that you might be in, but I feel here you could be dealing with two different people, and so are they. So some of you are having to focus on what's on your plate or what's in front of you right now, and allow that person to do the same. And when you leave them alone, they might feel that that's just too much, because sometimes they might feel good going back and forth between two different people, but when you kind of let them be alone with the other person, they might feel like they're in no man's land, or no woman's land. So it just depends there. So I feel like you might be feeling alone this week. All right, now your advice is to, now this is usually trying to have power and control when it comes to communication or what you might do. So the Queen of Swords is already someone who's knowledgeable on how to communicate with somebody and with certain things to ask, but she's not coming through manipulative, and that's the advice for you not to do that either. If you're dealing with somebody like that, step away. State your boundaries, be clear about it. Also, that came from Leo. I just did Leo as well, and they had the same kind of energy in here. So be careful of what you try to do to get revenge on somebody, and be careful what another person might be trying to do to sap your energy in some way and remove yourself from that person if you feel like you're unappreciated, appreciated. And I feel if you feel like they constantly do the same things over and over again to make themselves feel good, just try to do your best to communicate on other avenues and do different things, to ask for advice if you need help. Just try not to fall into a dungeon of feeling alone, and then you get depressed and you feel bad, and you're blaming others when there were other things that you could have done to free yourself from that particular energy or person, because they might be dealing with some other things. All right, so the outcome from doing these things, you do have the Wheel of Fortune that's coming out. So I feel that if you do take on the advice of some of the things I just gave you, you're gonna free will, right? So the free will. So you have a choice on how you respond to a particular person. And I feel like this has been coming out for you for the last, maybe a month, right? Good things are happening around you. Maybe good things where you are guided to good people, or people that you might need to be around, and they might affect your love relationship or romantic partner in some way. There could be some kind of secret that you could be holding back from others, or something significant could be happening to you towards the weekend or throughout the week that you need to pay attention to, that helps you understand the reasons why these things might be going on. And I feel for some of you, you might be disconnecting from an ex-partner and might be needing space from them because you're moving into a newer relationship that's healthier for you in some way. All right, so clarify the Seven of Wands in reverse for your love interest or partner. Virgo. So they might be you could be asking for support, some kind of help from them, and they might feel like that's too much or it's too early right now. You could be asking different favors, or they being asked favors from other people or a different person, and that's why I feel something like that could be going on. So that's where some of you might be just restricting yourself, or that person is being pulled back, and you might not understand what's going on, but they are. And some of them might really be trying to stay busy and keep themselves busy, so much so that they can give to you when the time is right. For others of you who are maybe in a newer relationship, so just be aware of that. Clarify the Hermit in reverse for Virgo. So this is where you both of you might be apart as you work on financial things, and some of you might be even around somebody that you work with who you may have been attracted to romantically, but it's all become too much, so you may be disconnecting from that particular personal scenario. But I feel here you might be working with other people. That's the direction that you might choose to go. So that does lead to good fortune coming in for you. Clarify the King of Swords in reverse for Virgo. So it tells you it's almost like you I don't say you bulldoze over this person, or you kind of get over it. Use your might to get over it, but you use your own intellect to, be clever about how you get around or get through to this person by letting them know that you're not going to tolerate certain things anymore, and so that you both can move forward in a healthier relationship or in a healthier environment by disconnecting completely from somebody. So it just seems like somebody that you're dealing with, they're busy right now, so try not to, or even if they're busy being bogged down by somebody else, just be aware or ask questions, and if they're not returning a response in some way, I'm letting you know what could be going on. This is the general reason, not going to be specific to you, but you can kind of get a gist of what might be going on. All right, so let's see, messages for Virgo and for the 1st to the 7th of October 2018. Give your relationship a chance. That says work on your partnership, and that is where you might need to disconnect, and that's still part of putting in the work, literally, for some of you out there, and your partner might be doing the same thing. But it does tell you to, if you feel like something is off, communication is lagging, you don't have to force it. You can ask questions that you need to, and then allow clarity to come to you. So it means that you did try. You can't get mad at yourself, or they can't get mad at you for trying, so at least you attempted to fix things with that particular person or your marriage. So let's see messages for Virgo. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life, and that's the opportunity to disconnect when you do have a chance. So when they're busy, like you get busy, focus on something else, and do other things with your friends, and maybe communicate with people that you don't usually communicate to or with. So just keep that in mind, and don't feel pressured that you need to stay with someone or be in a relationship that's not really healthy for you. So maybe you do want to travel and get out. Maybe that does add some creativity or passion in your life, and then you might be able to run into somebody new. It just depends. So that's your reading. Lots of love to you, lots of light, tons of healing vibes. I wish you the best, and you can always go to the website psychicloveheals.com to schedule something for you. Have a good one.